Hey,
Welcome to episode 94, Cowboy Shit with Ted and
nice
Wacey.
shirt.
I'm Ted. No way. Are you shitting me? I haven't put this thing on in a while.
I know. That's where I was just like, I was looking for a shirt
Oh, fuck,
before I
that's
went down to
funny.
get groceries just today. What are the odds of that?
Oh shit, that's good. 94, and we're dressing the same, except I have the white version of the hat. You have the black version of the hat.
Great minds think alike, man.
Oh, a couple of happy valleys. That's funny. Holy.
What a life.
Oh wow. Okay. So
Actually, just get, can
episode
you excuse
94.
me for 1 second? You can keep the show going. Just give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So just talk to the people real quick. I'll be right back.
Currently, we're experiencing a heat wave in most of Alberta at this point. We're both wearing shorts right now. It's very hot. We're both. I know I'm sweating. Wacey said he doesn't have his AC turned on yet, but I think he's probably about to do so. But luckily, we'll have a sponsor to tell you about later that helped us with the heat wave. We'll actually two. Both of our sponsors
Can't be starting a show without a nice cold ranch water.
Get that up on the mic.
Oh.
Cowboy Shit is brought to you by Circle 4 Ranch Water. Check them out at ranchwater.ca.
I'm officially calling it the drink of the summer.
Man, it definitely is. Here,
I think so.
Can we do a podcast cheers to everyone out there? Just
cheers.
Boom.
Boom.
Cheers.
Man. These are good stuff. Heck of a drink.
I definitely had one yesterday after the barrel racing, though. And it definitely frigged me up pretty quick. Just one of them, just like
because you hadn't. But they are like they're 5%, but like
5.5
tequila, man. Like that'll get you. If you're on an empty stomach, dude, like next thing you know,
hot sweat all day.
Oh man, that's understandable. But yeah,
again, this is Cowboy
available all over Alberta.
Yeah, and Saskatchewan, multiple places. Again, like I was trying to say though, this is Cowboy Shit with Ted and Wacey, brought to you by Circle 4 Ranch Water. Check them out at ranchwater.ca, the official drink of Cowboy Shit with Ted and Wacey.
And the summer.
And the summer. Yeah, I like that.
We're going out here and saying that on a limb.
Oh yeah. Man, I'm awesome. I'm tired. It's hot out. I'm sweating right now.
We're in the midst of like one of the biggest heat waves
in the history
ever.
I think the history. But
it's crazy. It's like living in a desert, dude. I feel like I'm like full-time Kelowna or full-time California. Like last night, dude, it was, I love it, dude. Last night, it was like 25 degrees at like 10 o'clock my patio, and it was so beautiful out.
Yeah.
Oh, I was loving it. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, it's big great. Fan. Man, so this last couple days, so today and yesterday, I was at the Calgary Stampede barrel racing qualifier for the 2021 Calgary Stampede. What a race we had. We had like 30 ladies all within 0.3 of a second of each other after the first round. Ended up being we took the top 5 to the Stampede. Tony Dixon, Val Gillespie, Vanessa Leggett. Who else was it? Celeste Montpellier and Lacey Caldas, formerly Lacey Stanton. So it was a great barrel race. Nikki Vanderlee comes in. She came into the finals in 19th spot and ran a 15.7, which was like a 10th faster than anybody else the whole week, and just about got herself in. She's number 6.
Damn.
So if anything happens, she could get in still, which is pretty neat. I know I used to high school rodeo with her brother, Austin Vanderlee, and we went to some of the FCA rodeos at the same time kind of thing. So good crew. Hopefully, I don't want to wish any bad luck on anybody else, but hopefully she gets in. That'd be pretty neat to say that she made that huge run and got into there. But I was actually surprised. I wasn't sure that they would do this again, but it sounds like it could be something that happens in the future again. So
that was going to be my first question. You think this becomes an annual thing? Like,
yeah, I think it could be, man. I mean,
it adds another element to the deal. Like
who wouldn't want to enter this thing? It could be, they could have a ton of entries, but this was Canadian only. There was 132.
Well, just think of the storylines that can come from
1,000. It. Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, it kind of takes that American, I don't know, what do you say? Like the format is what they've done. They've made it a qualifier for anyone. So if you can have that many people jump in on this, you could make it for every event. Technically, I don't know what it would end up looking like, but it was a full 2 days of action just for the barrel racing. So I can't imagine what the qualifiers would look like.
You'd have to start it after the Stampede that just happened and start going on for it, right? It'd be a cool way to do it.
Another thing that I think could work that could help some of the rodeos along the way is if these rodeos along the way ended up being qualifiers for Calgary in a way that if you're top few at this rodeo, everybody enter this rodeo, everybody enter Innisfail, which is where this was this past weekend. And whoever finishes top, whoever wins that top 2, top 3, whatever it ends up being, it could be like a finale where you go, everybody gets to go to Innisfail. It could totally boost the entries for some of these events leading into Calgary. Possibly. I don't know if that's something they end up doing, but I could see it.
Wouldn't that be similar to what the regular tour is? Or what it used to be?
Well, but that's like
Pro Tour.
That's like 10 events along the year. When you have to go to 10 and you got to go the whole year, it's a different story. But you could almost like pick a rodeo each year where you just totally boost their numbers, and whoever does good here, it counts for the CPRA, but you can also win your trip to Calgary. I don't know if that's something that would happen. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I just had the idea. Who knows? We'll see. But anyways, it was a great weekend of barrel racing. Thanks to the organizers, everybody putting it on. Got to work with our friend Cassie Hausauer, lipstickandcowboyboots.com, Lipstick and Cowboy Boots podcast as well. We had a great time. Enjoyed announcing together. I don't do a ton of announcing, but if somebody asks, I'll consider it. So I've been doing a bit more of it, been dabbling a bit more. So
after a weekend of barrel racing announcing, are you gonna, should more opportunities come down the pipeline, would you say yes, or was that like a one and done barrel race for you?
I don't think so. I've done a bull futurity or two, maybe one bull riding. What else have I done? A little bit of stuff, like did some announcing at Ty Posmon's bull riding one time. So I've done a little bit of, kind of dabbled, a little pinch of announcing here and there. We'll see. I'm content where we're at right now. I don't need to do a ton more, but if someone asks, I'll consider it. So yeah.
There's another text you sent me over the weekend regarding some musical controversy at some past rodeos. I would like to take a deep dive into that just to see what's going on.
Yeah. So I was talking with Jim Turner, actually, our flagman at the event this past weekend, Jim Turner, and Jim said, I couldn't believe it the other day. Somebody complained to me that the music at the Alberta High School Finals, or it might have been another high school finals. I don't know if this was for sure there. I think it was. But somebody was complaining because the music in the barrel racing, apparently the tempo or the speed of the songs was different, and that was a fucking problem for one of the rodeo moms, which I just find it a little bit bush league.
I don't know. I'm confused by that comment. It's like, what?
Well,
like,
because
what do you expect?
If the music's faster, the horse is going to run faster. Okay, the horse, like if the music's fast, then the horse. But the horses get jazzed up by the music, and they need to go fast. So, yeah, apparently,
I can't really buy it. I can't buy into that one. That's an interesting.
If I had a fucking rodeo mom come up to me and tell me that the music wasn't fast enough for her girl in the barrel racing, I'd probably fucking lose it. I might throw my laptop off the fucking stands, but that's the thing too. You want to get Teddy fired up, start making requests in the fucking announcer stand at a rodeo. That's awesome. In the barrel racing at the high school finals, which I probably would not. I don't know if I would do that one. I don't know if they would ask me. So, is there a song that you've played so much over the years that you just can't listen to anymore? Well, it's funny you say that because I don't listen to a ton of tunes in the vehicle anymore. It's mostly talk stuff like Fan 960 or Howard Stern. Like the music stuff doesn't, what should I say? Like a lot of it just sounds the same, and a lot of it is a little bit monotonous, I might say, or like it's tough to pick out some new stuff on the radio different times, especially the pop channels. I don't listen to the radio, man. You don't listen to it? I fuck the radio. Yeah, right. Like you listen to your Spotify, which I've got onto a bit more since you got us on the like family plan thing. I've got into that a bit more. Papa's got you. Yeah. Thanks, Wacey. But like, I don't listen to music in the radio, so there's kind of a lot of it. And I got back into my barrel racing music this weekend at this thing, and like, cause I mostly just played like some rock and roll and just like some good tracks that I could just play all the way through. And there's a lot of stuff that's on my barrel racing soundtrack that's like page that I hate. And then we can go back to Journey, like Small Town Girl, or like Don't Stop Believing. Like. I just, it's like the go-to sing-along, and it works everywhere we go. Like it's great, but it's like one that I just hate to do because it's one of those things. I just think we just do it every time. Like showbiz, and like sometimes it's the same songs, but like Garth Brooks sings the same songs all the time, and the people love it. So I can get where it can get a little tough mentally, but I don't know. Like I said, I listen to talk radio, so nice. For me. And I hate saying this because they're my favorite band of all time.
as most people know. No. Knocking at the Door by the Arkells. The PBR has forever ruined that song for me.
Well, we made the coolest opening video ever with it.
But it's been played on repeat since 2017.
Yeah, at least once per event, pretty much. So I get it. I like that. I like that song too.
It's good.
What else we got, Wace? Anything else? Probably should wrap up this top of the show.
We can. I have some Stampede questions, but we can get into that afterwards. So this is like our pre-Stampede. It depends what you want. I was just gonna ask I'll save it till next one. Till the next part? Yeah, I'll save it till the next one. Yeah.
But moral of the story, I'm sorry that you were offended, ma'am, that the music wasn't right for the entirety of the barrel racing at the high school finals. I'm not sure what else to say about that though. I think that's something that's unnecessary to complain about.
That's just somebody who's looking for something to complain about.
Yeah, I think so.
I think there's a lot of people in the world like that these days where it's no matter how good something's going or whatever, they just find a way to complain.
Could be an issue. Her name was probably Karen.
Case in point, Twitter. There's always somebody complaining about something on fucking Twitter.
Wait, I think we have something to tell the people.
Well, Ted alluded earlier that we had a nice little thing to help us beat the heat. As you know, me and Ted are both guys who are big fans of huge bushes, and we're
fans of huge bushes? Or is that just a saying?
I think it's a. I think
you should go back.
Thing. I think it's just a thing.
Where did that saying come from?
I don't know. I remember I just used it as an Instagram caption to describe Todd Kodowitz one time with a picture, PBR bull rider.
But I remember one time I was with Monty Phillips at the CFR, and we were like at Moxie somewhere, and I remember Jason. I think it was Jason Resch. I don't know who is Brooke Robinson. I don't know if they're married or dating or who it is. One of the Resch brothers. I think it's Jason.
No
right?
idea, man.
You don't know? Anyways, it was the four of us. We were all at this restaurant, and I remember saying something about a guy, and it was with Monty, and I knew it came from before this, but we were sitting at this restaurant, and I was we were all sitting there drinking Caesars on a Sunday, and it was yeah, that Wacey Anderson, great guy, huge bush, and Monty just spit his drink out. He thought it was so fucking funny. I don't know if he hadn't heard it yet, if it was just great timing on my behalf, or what it was. But
it's always going to be a good timing, man. It's all about the timing.
So the huge bush line.
But anyways,
where'd it come from though? Where'd it come from?
Literally, dude, I don't know. I just was saying it.
When's the first time you remember using
I'll look back on my Instagram right here.
Huge bush. It's quite a while back. This is
I think it's 2016.
Oh, this is 10 years for me at least.
First time I ever used it.
This is ways back in my
2017 is the first time I posted it on social media. But anyways, speaking of huge bushes, we no longer have huge bushes thanks to our new friends at Manscaped, who are the best in men's below the waist grooming. And they are the champions of the world in that line.
Champions of the world.
Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. That kind of rhymes. Nice. That's hot rhymes. Manscaped's fourth generation trimmer, the Lawn Mower 4.0, which Ted and I have both used, and we can attest to. And man, went right on the sack with mine, legit. Yeah, and I was scared because there's been times in the past where I had nicked my sack, and it's been not a good scene. The Manscaped 4.0 never had an issue.
Did not nick the sack. Look at this. Look at it. It looks like a little set of balls.
Man, it's beautiful. Look at the presentation.
And then it says,
it's gorgeous.
It's a whole new balls game, and it's not here because I already used it on my balls, and I didn't want you guys to see it.
It's beautiful. So join over the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer
from Cowboy shit.
From us and Manscaped.
Yeah.
20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code HUGEBUSH at manscaped.com. Make sure you use it. Get on it with the boys. Man, I might start shaving more than just my bush with my Manscaped 4.0.
You're not supposed to say that part because that's it's only supposed to be for your ball sack. Where else are you gonna use it?
What? No, it's
you're gonna use
not.
Your ball. You're gonna use your ball trim on your face.
It's growing in body. It's growing in body.
Oh, you're gonna shave your hoop with it. Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know. Maybe. Now that I won't cut it. That's always the fear, man. But anyways, yeah. Welcome Manscaped. Code HUGEBUSH. Save 20%.
I think I just gonna go on a limb and say that Huge Bush might be the best promo code in the history of the Manscaped promotions. I don't know for sure.
I've heard a few Manscaped ads, and ours, ours definitely sets the bars. So, I mean, if you're looking, I know there's probably a few people out there looking for a new trimmer. I know I could use an upgrade, so this was perfect timing for us.
Yeah, me too. I'd seen the different ads on some of the other shows, and like they've been definitely targeting me on the line. So I was pumped to get hooked up. Thanks, Manscaped, for the ball trimmer, the lawnmower. It's got even has variable lengths. You can have different length of bush if you wish.
Yeah, and don't forget, you get 20% off free shipping with code HugeBush, manscaped.com. That's right, 20% off. And
check that, folks.
Free worldwide shipping. When you use code HugeBush, unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Man, I'm good at this shit. Yeah!
This is episode 94, Cowboy Shit with Ted and Wacey, presented by Circle 4 Ranch Water. We'll be back with our interview this week after this. Well, we are back. It's episode 94, Cowboy Shit. I'm Ted. He's Wacey, and our guest today is a man who spent his career. Oh wait, I messed that up. Gotta do
keep going, man.
Gotta keep going. Spending his professional career building organizations and taking on new challenges. He's a lawyer by training, serving as a policy advisor to the federal government in Ottawa, building and selling an advertising agency. He's also involved in commercial property development and has also built a franchise retail business. He's a 40-year volunteer with the Calgary Stampede and the current president and chairman of the board, Steve McDonough. Thanks for being on the show today. Thanks for doing this.
Welcome to the show. Heavy hitter. Number 94.
Number 94. About to crack a cold one and get started, eh?
So 40 years the Stampede is like most of the time the Stampede's been going. So what? Just a few years difference, but so what's that like? What's your beginning? How's it? The 40 years is a long time.
Is that mic on too? You got to switch it up. I'm not sure. Oh, there you go. Now you're ready.
Now you're live.
Now we're good. We're good. Sorry, I should have gave you the 10-4 before we got going.
You should have just given me a little
That's
tech
bad.
support here.
I'm sorry.
Come on,
I'm sorry,
Ted.
Steve.
But yeah, anyways,
that one's on me. That one's on me.
He'll wear it. Team guy. It's all good.
Yeah, 40 years as a volunteer.
It's a long time.
Yeah, probably about 6 years before that, I was actually a carny. So that's where I started at the organization.
Wow. What booth? What did you do?
I was a bingo caller.
A bingo caller? Was that?
I won some sweet prizes on bingo one time. Swan River Rodeo, like 2010.
How did you get that job, though? Was that like a Stampede job, or was that like, were you part of the traveling
I was
crew?
Part of the traveling crew with
Really?
Conklin shows.
No shit.
Okay, we need to get
guy named Morley Scott ran the...
Well, he's a radio guy from Edmonton, isn't he?
What?
Or is that a different guy?
Probably a different
different
guy.
Morley Scott?
Different Morley Scott, but Morley took care of the bingos, and we had two at Calgary.
That's sweet.
One was underneath where the Big Four is.
Really?
And then
in the basement, not the new venue now.
It was outside, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So that's where I mostly worked, and then we would set up and tear down the circus tent bingo as well. So
really? And did you have to set it up and tear it down, like for each show, not every night? Like
not every night, no.
It was for every show you went to. Mm-hmm. But so you went to you would have done Calgary, you would have done like Klondike Days at the time, you would have done like P&E.
I didn't go that far. I went Calgary and Edmonton, and
I'll
tell you that was a change of life.
Yeah, and you were 12 years old.
Well, 12 to 17. So I worked there quite a few years. Yeah.
Dang.
Did you ever see some like sketchy carny stuff?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Can you tell us about this?
That's what I said. It was a life-changing thing. I wouldn't recommend it to parents to send their kids on the road, but it was some good times, I got to say, and I look back at it and have a respect for how hard those people work.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Was that the first time you got hammered up, drunk? Was that when you were
with the carnies?
It had to be. I can't imagine it wasn't.
That's wild.
Or can you not get into that?
Is this microphone on?
I can turn it off for a while.
Between you, me, Ted, and the 1,900 people who listen to each episode.
Just we'll keep it on the down low.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay.
No, there was some good times in that, and as I say, I look back. I got to go find my Conklin shirt one of these days.
Oh yeah. Are they? They're not still like in the show business world, are they?
No, I believe the Conklin family sold to North American Midway.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
It's still got the same roots.
And they're still coming here to Calgary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's kind of like a circle of life kind of thing where you start there and then look at you now. You're at the top. start at the bottom, now you're here.
Here we are, right? Sitting in the president's room at the Calgary Stampede.
For 2 years, it's Steve's room, right? Or is it stay president's room? How does that work?
I don't think that would go over very well if I tried to call it my room.
You can't put like a sign over it that says Steve's room?
No,
it's not allowed.
So then what was the next step past the Carney part into the volunteer side? How did that happen?
That's a great question. My family was involved with the Calgary Stampede since I had a cowboy hat with a whistle on it. We just lived down the road.
Yeah.
In fact, my dad actually competed in the Stampede.
Really? What did he do?
He was in the steer riding.
Really?
So he was just a kid.
No way.
Cowboy kid. So we've always had an association with the Calgary Stampede. And so the question was, when I got involved as a volunteer, I used to follow my dad around when he was with the hosting and hospitality committee. And I met some great people. Apparently I met the Three Stooges. Now, I was too young to remember it now, but my dad would tell me I'd met them.
That's cool.
Yeah, there was.
Really?
So the Stampede's always been kind of a central place for me to make friends, socialize, be with my family, and here I am. So yeah, it's been a good run.
Oh yeah. And so we were asking before, you've been involved for 40 years on the volunteer side.
Yeah.
Where did you start on the volunteer
side? Grandstand
side?
Committee, showbiz.
And why?
Well, again, it goes back to my dad, but back in the day, and I think you and I have talked about this, Ted, is that
over a few whiskeys at Smithville.
Yeah.
That's a good place for it.
Absolutely. That's where the best stories are told at Smithville. Yeah. We used to do things like land helicopters on the stage during the show. There would be acrobatics, but anything aviation related. Back in the day, you would need an actual airport system, a radio.
Really?
And it was
like
called
ATC.
It was an enormous radio
wow.
from back in time, and it was called Stampede Control. So the Calgary International Airport knew that Stampede Control was online, and we would control the wing walkers, the helicopters.
Dang.
And my dad was busy with other volunteer things, so he'd stick me in front of this radio.
No way.
And I would do the countdown for the Avery family and the production. They didn't know that there was a 15-year-old bringing in the airplanes, but after a while, they kept wondering why this kid was hanging around.
Holy.
Yeah. So I was probably when I was 16, as soon as I could drive, because I had to put this thing in my trunk.
Yeah.
So now it's all done with cell phones, of course. So.
Yeah. Wow. So when did you wrestle the bear?
Oh, I had a date on that.
This is a real story.
Straight Khabib.
I looked it up, and geez, what year was it? I was probably about 19 years old, and I remember Rod Stewart was in Calgary at the Saddle Dome that night.
Big show.
Yeah.
Rod Stewart's awesome.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Dang.
So I went over to the Rod Stewart concert, and then I looked at my watch. I had to be back at a certain point to wrestle the bear. And
night. That's a hell of a night.
Oh, it was a great night.
Rod Stewart and wrestling a bear.
Yes. So that was my evening, and when we talk about fighting the bear, I was actually just pummeled by a grizzly who was trained in Greco-Roman wrestling.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
You probably just went with some crazy fist or something.
You were what were you? You were the
it's like when
the chew toy?
Semi-pro when Jackie Moon fights the bear.
Yeah.
What's his safe word? Isn't it like Spumoni or something?
Spumoni.
Yeah, that bear didn't escape.
Going to the crazy fist.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I wish I'd known.
Oh
so
man.
Good.
I guess we should get into some real questions, hey? Maybe.
That's cool. I like hearing like the pathways. So you started out with the grandstand committee, and then what was next? Like, was that like kind of a goal when you started to keep climbing or trying different committees? Like, as we all know, like there's a lot of committees and stuff.
And like I wonder, like, why volunteer too?
Yeah.
Like what's the why behind it on the volunteer side? There's over 2,000 volunteers.
2,500 now, right?
Yeah. So what's the why behind the volunteer side? Is it go back to the community side of it and the meeting people? Is that kind of part of the why, or what is it?
I don't think it's over the top to say that when you start volunteering with a committee, they become like family.
Yeah.
Definitely closer than friends, because you get to see them once a year and
and like once a month when there's normal meetings too, right? It becomes like your friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I've watched people grow up. I've seen them,
Yeah.
throughout my whole life. And I think I like that. I went away to school. I'd come back and I had a place to be.
Was it Carleton too, or were you in the U.S.?
I
read this too. I forget right now.
That I'm going to change that bio, but it's kind of dry, isn't it? I went to Acadia University, and
that's right. Okay.
And then I went to the University of Wales in Great Britain as well.
I forgot about that part. I knew I read this stuff, and I didn't. Sweet. I should have put it down better. I'm sorry.
I love that shit.
No, that's all right.
That's wild. And okay, so go back to where you were at.
So I would come back in the summers and be able to just fit right back into the community, and I enjoyed it. Hey, who gets to work with, flying trapeze acts and bears and all the other
to wrestle a bear and go to a Rod Stewart concert in the same night.
Yes, it's a thing of dreams. But I really did have a good time, and it was 29 years on the grandstand committee. And those years go by very quickly. And
okay. Just quickly, what happened after you wrestled the bear? Did you just have free reign at the ranchman's after at Cowboys? You was like, I just wrestled a bear. after you get to this.
That's probably the night you met your wife too.
And this man wrestled a bear.
Yeah, it was after. I think after I wrestled the bear, I was just happy to be out of there.
Just be alive. Didn't die.
And like anyone who's 19, 20 years old at the time, that is not the end of the evening. So it was probably off to Nashville.
That's how you flex at the bar. That's like you can go, anybody can show up to the bar and they can be like Rod Stewart could have came to the bar.
Yeah, and they would have been looking at me.
Yeah, you're the one in the VIP. You have his spot in the VIP with the bottle service. Being like, sorry, this guy just wrestled a bear, Rod. Like, you got to go, dude.
Well, I think it was probably Dusty's back in the day.
Oh, okay. And then there was what else? There was one that was, I forget what it's called now. There's a few. Was there a Long Branch at one point too?
Are you talking about in the Dusty's? In the Dusty's bar?
That's before my time.
I'm showing my age here.
I don't know these.
I could just start throwing out some names, but there was a few different iterations, but nothing like the original Dusty's.
So 29 years on the grandstand committee, and then so that puts you to only 11 years ago. But technically you would have had to get on the board pretty soon after that.
Yeah, I left when I left the grandstand committee. I had been elected to the board.
To the board, yeah. And tell me what the path to the board, it was different than most for you.
Oh, you're going to go there?
Do you want me to or no? We don't have to.
That's all right. I was elected to the board by the shareholders of the Stampede. And it was 11, 12 years ago now?
Yeah.
There's 3 different ways to get on the board: to be appointed, to be nominated by the nominating shareholders committee, or to be nominated by some of your peers. And so I was nominated by my peers to run, and was elected. So
that's cool.
And been on the board since, and then you get elected by the board to the executive.
That's right.
And it's 8 years. Until it's 8 years on the executive where you're the second vice chair, president, then 2 years past president, correct?
That's right. So 2 years in each position.
Nice. And so this is year 1 of the presidency.
That's right.
Yeah. Kind of a shit year to get the presidency, really, isn't it?
But to navigate, but
not how I pictured it, but how could we, right?
Yeah, it's tough. Especially 7 years ago, right? Jeez, or 5 years ago now.
No, who could have seen what a pandemic would do to all of us? But just the same, and it's one of those things you just got to step up for, and I'm happy the board's right there with me.
So we should go and ask this one right now. I think we got to say why have the Stampede this year? It would have been easier to cancel, but now the Calgary Stampede is leading the charge for live events in Canada, bringing them back. It's kind of scary for some folks right now to have an event like this, but tell us about the why first. Why have it this year? Why are we doing the Stampede again in 2021?
Well, that's a great question, but it's the right thing to do. Calgary Stampede has always been a kind of trailblazing, I don't want to say maverick, but
since the beginning though, since 1912, really.
Yeah, and in fact, when Guy Fieri wanted to put the initial Calgary Stampede on, he talked to some people in the city, and and the comment was, Calgary's not ready for something like the Calgary Stampede. So, so here we are. But, we understand that people are going to have different levels of comfort with the emerging steps after a pandemic. Totally get that. But the Calgary Stampede has been working for a year to see how to put this on properly. And it's an ever-changing environment. I'm looking forward to it. It's 15 days from the day of this taping.
Yeah. I'm so stoked for, like, even like tonight after work, we had a little bit of happy hour at the office, and there's people around buzzing, having conversation. And I'm like longing for those things. And it's one of those things too that ties into like the core of what Stampede is like persevering through tough times. And again, like you said, trailblazing. So it's pretty cool to see that Stampede leading the way. So it's something that's so close to like what we do and everything too on that front.
Well, it's always been the Calgary Stampede, and the grounds have always been the gathering place for Calgarians. And, that's really what the tradition is getting people together. And, while I say I work with my volunteer family, I see people I haven't seen in a year on the tarmac at the grandstand. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I look forward to that every year. So
the same goes for us too. It's one of those things where it's a place to gather and get together. And what I love the most about Stampede is the whole city buys in for the 10 days, like people who aren't directly involved with agriculture or Western lifestyle or Western sports, like they're behind it and they're taking part in it. It's so cool to see that in the mainstream. I wish it was like that all the time, but for a city such as Calgary size, like there's a big disconnect and that kind of thing. So it's cool to see people jump on board.
You're right. It's wonderful. And even in a cancellation year like last year, people still wanted to get together at the distances we did, masked, but even in a canceled Stampede, we still had drive-through breakfasts and we had fireworks and all those sorts of things bring our community together. And this year, with vaccines and all the progress that's been made there, we believe we can move forward very safely. It's going to be a different looking Stampede. We're not going to be breaking any attendance records here. Like let's be real. We know that. And we're going out safely. I think, as you were saying, Wacey, people are getting together and it's becoming normal now. But the Stampede, in what we have planned, is still going to absolutely be aware of the nervousness or the
just the apprehension almost.
The different atmosphere that we're in now. So we're part of the community too. We're not just going ahead.
Yeah, I think that gets caught in the shuffle a lot too. Again, that kind of ties back to the disconnect point where it's like if you're not directly involved on this side of the coin, it's easy to think that you're just selfishly going forward with this event just to have the event. Where it's like there's been a year-long amount of planning going into this, right? Like it's not just like it's been strategic the whole way, and you want to keep those people safe and bring people together. But I think that's a point that gets kind of lost in the shuffle, where it's like you're not just having the event for the sake of having the event.
I couldn't say that better myself, and thank you, because sometimes I get tired of hearing myself talk or think about it, but to hear it coming from you, that means a lot. And that is true. We are planning, we're strategic, we're safety minded, and really ready to host our community. And I hope to see everyone there.
I'm looking forward to it.
What's it going to look like? And how much more is it going to change in the next couple of weeks? Just kind of high level. There's people have seen different announcements, but what can we expect?
Well, the Calgary Stampede has been known for the pivot, I guess. It's quite funny because some people say it always looks the same, and other people complain when it's different. But it's
a good point.
Yeah. Well, and there's going to be some differences. So first off, expect to see fewer people on the midway in the grounds. That to me, that's kind of nice. I love that. Well, anyone who's been down, I've been
so
saying
busy.
It's going to feel like a Monday.
Yeah.
And anyone who's been down on a Monday, it's one of those days that you get nervous that people aren't coming. Yeah. But if we see that many people in one place, that'll be quite a big gathering. So that's roughly half of what our usual day is like.
Yeah.
The shows, I'm talking about the grandstand now. There will be, if you want to sit far away from someone or if you want to sit right in the mix, you'll be able to pick that.
Do whichever you please, yeah.
The rodeo infield, I expect that to be a little more crowded.
Infield
and that's
bar.
how you want to watch a
It's my spot.
Yeah, I know. And frankly, those tickets are pretty much sold out anyway.
Yeah, they're all gone. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Let's talk about some of the challenges this year. I think what it's been like. You've had to plan probably 72 million different scenarios on what this might look like. What have been some of the biggest challenges on that side of it?
Well, it's a great question, and we had asked our volunteer leaders, and staff to plan 3 different stampedes. So a small, just a little bit bigger than maybe last year's, a medium, and then a large would be no more than 75% of what a regular stampede might look like.
Which is what we're kind of getting towards right now.
That's about, but we're not going to go any higher than that. So
you're going to shut the gates at some point.
The plan is the plan, and even though it's going to feel like we're all back to normal, we're not all back to normal. We sure hope so, and soon. But so we've asked for 3 different plans, and then we could pick an area. So when we had heard the province would be opening after phase 3, you start to make those plans and kind of dial in, and that's where we are right now. But things are being ruled out as we can put them in concrete. We're making some great announcements. So last week was the Nashville North.
This week's the summer stage.
Summer stage. It's a heck of a lineup for that too. That's
Looks
awesome.
great.
Yeah, there's some great names.
Stoked for live music.
I'm pumped to go see Classified.
Yeah, Classified
like
reps. Yeah, good stuff.
The Sheepdogs. It's gonna be a fun week.
Man, Default's playing.
Yeah, Default.
I love
Getting
Default.
the old band back.
Yeah.
Together. Monster Truck.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
It's gonna be a heck of a
jacked.
time.
And then in Nashville, you got Brett Kissel, George Canyon. Who else?
James Barker Band.
Yeah,
is it Jess Moskowitz going too?
I think so.
Yeah.
I was just off the top of my head naming off a couple,
But anyways,
it's gonna be a banger of a week. Gonna be good times. Can't wait to get back to it. This is one of the ones I missed the most last year. Like for all the events we go to all year, this one in the hometown, it just felt weird to be golfing during the Stampede. Or like we went and had a lake weekend with a bunch of us that actually like work here at the Stampede every year. We went to Pine Lake and we all had a lake weekend, and it was fun to do something different, but it was not what it should have been.
Yeah, you felt like you shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I'm like, well, we should be somewhere right now.
I remember driving by like the grounds like that first
week.
day of Stampede. Like we were supposed to be there for the first part for the rodeo. And I was just so sad. I was like, this is like such to be such a fun, because we had plans. Remember, we were gonna float down to the contestant on the river the one day.
Maybe this year.
Yeah, maybe this year.
Down to G65. Is that what you were gonna do?
Down the elbow to stay down and jump out in the back. Because like to drive thing by Dave's can just have our clothes sitting there for us.
Yeah.
Jump out of the river, deflate our tubes.
Now that's an
have
entry.
lunch and have a day.
That's an entry.
Now we got our presents like with the podcast and stuff and the brand. That'd be a heck of an entrance to the contestant.
We'd have the Ranch Water River Rodeo, and we just show up to G65. Start the day.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah,
it's good content. That's awesome. I love
well, this ranch water's pretty nice too.
You don't mind it, eh? It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it. It's a very refreshing
good
on a warm day like today.
Is this our on-air read of it?
It could be. You know, it's like on-air product reviews. You're a new consumer. It's a conversion hour for us. Like we're like helping out the ranch water team. Is like we got a new customer for them.
I give
which
it
is huge.
Thumbs up.
There's more in Steve's fridge too.
You give it.
JC,
in other words, you give it a Yahoo.
I would give it a full Yahoo.
We got to go back to challenges one more time.
I have a question to build off challenges. So this works good. Yeah,
because I got to ask about the chuck wagons.
Yeah.
Tell us the full story about the chucks and why there's no chucks this year.
Well, it's that's a good question, and I think it needs to be talked about a little more. The chuck wagons are obviously one of the draws and the favorite parts of the Calgary Stampede, and yes, it's quite sad we are not having them in 2021. That was not our plan, but this is just how it worked out for this year. The board, I want to say, I've heard some pretty amazing reasons for us not hosting the chuck wagons in Calgary this summer, and we haven't. There's two sides to every story. So there's just a few people that are out there spinning tails. But I want to say on behalf of the Calgary Stampede Board, we are absolutely supportive, and we love the chuck wagons. So we are going to be ensuring their sustainability, safety, and monitoring. And it's all according to our almost 100 years of racing at Stampede. But this year, some of the details on it, I guess, and this isn't a he said sort of thing. It's just there's more to it than we just didn't want the racing. What we want is safe racing. What we want is racing that's under our fitness to compete. And I think that term has been kind of boiled down to we're worried about the safety of horses. And while that is true, we are worried about the safety of horses. Our fitness to compete program is not just about horses, it's about competitors. It's about the track. It's about the environment. And, frankly, those races are only as safe as the least safe driver on the track. And no driver's going to set out to be not safe. It's been 2 years. So, there's specifics in our fitness to compete, including racing 5 weeks before the Calgary Stampede. So keep in mind, we are only one of the stops on the chuck wagon circuit.
And would have been the first one.
Well,
could have, I guess.
As it turned out, all the other races canceled ahead of us, so we would have been the first. But that's not where that's not the kind of show we put on. We need teams that have been racing for 5 weeks, and in fact, it's a contractual obligation that they would be racing 17.6 days in the 5 weeks leading up to Stampede. So when it turned out that wasn't going to be possible, now we work with the WPCA. We don't work with individual drivers.
Yeah.
So,
and the CPCA as well.
Yeah, absolutely, CPCA. But both those associations, they manage the drivers, they manage the talent, and that's who we negotiate with when we bring them in. So it's up to them, and we looked at every angle of how we could bring the races to Calgary this year. And it just was not going to become feasible without breaking our own rules. And this community wants to ensure that we have a social license and that we can race chuck wagons. And if we just start tossing things out for the sake, I think you guys said we're just putting the Stampede on. We're not putting the Stampede on just for the sake of Stampede. And that would be the same situation. We need certain conditions to be met. When I said track conditions, that is one of the things that we were very serious about maintaining after any issues in the past, and we've gone out and put $350,000 into that track. Wow. It is racing ready. The issue is that the other conditions couldn't be met. So we're looking forward to having them back in 2022. It's
and beyond.
Yeah,
and the 100th anniversary of chuck wagon racing at Calgary in 2023.
How exciting, right?
Yeah,
it's
going to be a big one.
It's how it's got to be. But again, we are a big stop on the circuit. We know that. But as it turns out, look at what High River's doing. That's gonna be
Absolutely.
A great couple of weekends of racing,
and there's a bunch of stuff that's come up. So.
Yeah, there's gonna be stuff happening. So it's one of those things where it's like, you got to meet those conditions, and if you start breaking those, then it's gonna be a chain reaction of like if you do it once, you got to do it again. If you do it for somebody, you got to do it for somebody else, and it's one of those just a toxic cycle of again, like just doing it for the sake of doing it. There's no value in that sense, right?
No, so we absolutely want to see the wagons run, but we want to see them run for 10 or 20 more years, not just to
or more. Yeah, not just a few.
Just for the sake.
You don't
of
want them to show up and it be
it'd be a disaster.
A rough time.
Well, I wish the races all the best this year.
Yeah.
Frankly, I want to get them all running and but
see you back.
So
next
there is absolutely welcome back next year.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's not, but it wasn't like you guys aren't trying to get rid of chuck wagon racing like some folks seem to think, like, oh, Calgary doesn't want the chuck wagon racing. Calgary wants the chuck wagon racing. it's
a huge part of the show. Like a lot of people that I know, especially now working downtown and whatever, it's like people love going to the wagon races. It's a great way. Like you go out with your team for the evening, do some toonie bets, have some beers. It's easy to follow. Like people truly enjoy the wagons. So it's not like Calgary doesn't want to have the wagons. No.
No, I've heard some excellent rumors out there of the Stampede board wants to build condos on the track and all sorts of nonsense. It's gotten absolutely ridiculous. But talking to you guys, I think you can see we're trying to do what's right, and we do that for the rodeo sports. This has got to be a place that we're all proud of, and just cutting rules or cutting some slack here and there. This is too big a show to do that, and so I'm proud of the decision we made. It was not an easy decision, but I'm a Chuck Wagon fan. I have been forever, all those 29 years. Honestly, I don't think I missed a race. In Calgary, but good luck to them, and maybe I'll be down in High River taking a night.
You had we touched on the challenges of Stampede, and I mean, like hosting Stampede this year, and I mean, it's one of those things. But there's also stuff to look forward to. So, like, what are some of the things that you're looking most forward to about this? Because this will be a different look Stampede, so some new things and new whatever. It's like there's got to be some exciting things on the horizon.
Well, every day is different for me now. Here I am. I'll be close to the front of the parade. It's a mini parade this year. I think you guys knew that. Yeah, it's on the grounds and made for TV. But I've already mentioned it at the time of this.
You don't have to go. You don't have to ride your horses far.
No, my horse is probably thanking everyone. So it'll be a traditional way to kick Stampede off. But again,
Thursday the 8th.
No, Friday the 9th.
Oh, the morning. Yeah, it's Friday morning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a morning thing.
Yeah, sorry, I don't usually make it up for that.
Well, me neither. As a grandstand guy, I was working late. So yes, early mornings at Stampede are not my specialty. Everyone knows that around here. I'm not
the mornings are tough.
I've been booked for, I think, a morning TV show, and I was
like, "Are you sure about that?"
Sorry, I've got something else. Can't make it.
Well, no, I actually appeared. I just looked a little sleepy.
The one summer I worked for Labatt over Stampede, and obviously as them being a big supporter, we had a lot of stuff going on. I think I left my sales rep van in the parking lot right over here for
got towed, I bet.
No, I had the parking pass. So I think I was there for like 4 days.
Did you have a parking pass from me or from Stampede?
Well, the one I got from Stampede was for the back lot.
Oh yeah.
And then you hooked me up with like the primo parking. And I was like, this is no. I got a sweet one from work actually, because that's that C lot or G lot or whatever it is. Like it's like literally, I think it's right across.
It might have been the year we did the wagon stuff too. I might have had a sweet parking pass.
I don't know. I literally like my. Like on the weekends of Stampede, my van did not move until my 8 a.m. meeting Monday morning.
Well,
I'm safe to say that now because I don't work for Labatt anymore. But it's like I would roll up. And then I think that year I went out 13 of 14 nights that you could
including
possibly
bull
go
busting.
Out. Including bull busting. I went out every night. And I have like, as people
there's an
know,
extra one in there somewhere.
I have the biggest like rubber arm going or whatever.
Well done. Well, I got to say, over all the years, the Calgary Stampede parking and tow truck operators have an excellent sense of humor. Oh yeah, I had my car towed away because it was parked in the fireworks zone, and they kind of just sneak it off to the back somewhere.
Yeah,
and so you wander
to
around
the junkyard, or what do they call that lot?
That's funny.
Yeah, it's over by the gates.
The back lot, lot 25. Lot 25.
Good for you.
What's the? Sorry, go ahead, Wace.
Oh, I was going to transition to something else, but if
go ahead.
So it's kind of you mentioned like this is something that you want the community to be proud of and whatever. This is kind of a topic that I've become super passionate about over the last few months. Is like there's a bit of disconnect between urban and rural, or like even like Western lifestyle people. Like, how can Calgary lead the way in bridging that gap of like kind of educating the more urban people on like the process of agriculture, Western sports, rodeo, like why we do what we do, like
Aggie days.
But you know what I mean? Like and it's become more of apparent with like the Bowden incident and like the rodeo bills brought up a lot of this stuff, and there's been a lot of negative lights put on rodeo by people who there's a bit of disconnect on that sense. So yeah, how can Stampede be a leader on that front?
Well, it's a good question. As I was listening to it, I was thinking about why we do what we do here, and there is such a huge education component. Now, the bright lights and the good music and the cold beer and all those things seem to take priority for some people, and I salute that. But deep down, there's an educational side to this whole thing. We run a Stampede school year round out at the OH Ranch. And it also runs in the Nutrient building as well. you mentioned Aggie Days, which is another personal.
Love Aggie Days. I just don't like the noise of Aggie Days.
Them kids, a loud crowd.
It's the strollers bumping into your ankles.
My ears.
But that's really where it starts, Wacey, is that kids don't get out to the farms and don't get out to the ranches and don't
know where the
understand.
food comes from.
Right, and if we look at the Elbow River Camp and our Indigenous partners out there, it's all educational based. So you can find different things on this park. Coming down even this year, it'll take you more than a day to see the art shows. These are the things I think you're talking about. In the beef cattle area, they'll take you through the whole process, if you will, from pasture to plate, and all those educational things are a major part of our content. As I say, it's I've been known to run over to Nashville and ignore some of that some days, but I've had my kids through working at Aggie Days. My daughter's actually a volunteer.
Cool.
With the Stampede, and
third generation now or more.
That's third. My son was a young Canadian, and then he was in sheep shearing as a volunteer, and then my daughter and Warren Connell's daughter actually worked together for a few years in the Country Critters. So,
okay.
They give llama presentations, and I think that's where you're getting.
Yeah. It's just like I've noticed, you see a lot in the media and stuff. There's people who, they think they know what they know, but there's obviously a disconnect where I feel like there's a bit of OS on people from our side of the coin to be like, hey, like, it's not that way, and
that's part of what the shoot tours are.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot. Stampede's are leader in that
infield side. Yeah, which we can't do this year.
No, but won't be doing any of that because of the bubble.
That's usually a big part of the education part of it, and the premium seating part of it too. Really.
Well, absolutely, and yes, I know those shoot tours and back of barn tours, and frankly, if you get back in the barns, but that's a pretty special place to be. So you will remember it. The understage tours of the grandstand show, or some of the behind the scenes things at the Calgary Stampede are quite memorable. And
what's your most memorable part of it?
Oh boy,
do you have any? Are there any secret hallways or doorways around here that
some tunnels from here to the grandstand?
Well,
President's tunnels.
The old headquarters building here we are is it's a place I've spent some time in, but actually the ag building is where I spent most of my years. That's where my meetings were, and that's got the old safes and vaults downstairs that got flooded out, and there's all kinds of fun places.
There's a vault with a bunch of bronzes in it. There's a replica of every bronze from I don't know how long back or if it's forever, but there's an extra bronze made for each year for the trophies, like the daily winners and I think the champion winners too, maybe. But there's replicas where there's an extra one in the vault somewhere. Yeah. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, they were cleaned up after the flood of 2013. I think that vault flooded pretty hard.
Flooded pretty bad, yeah.
Yeah.
And even the champion ones for those years didn't have the wood on them was all wrecked. So they had to get them redone. It was kind of neat.
Yeah, so you talk about some of the favorite things. I got to go to the people really, because they make me laugh every year. There's a bunch of characters around here, and I've been fortunate as a director liaison over the past 10, 12 years to go and work with, say, the sheep committee or the chuck wagon committee, and you get to know those people, and they're tight. They've got their own culture and their own friends and their own rules, and
really
caravan committee. I got to say. I'd never heard of the mix of pickle juice and rye, but
oh no,
the picklebacks.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's usually a shot of Jameson's and then a shot of pickle juice to wash her down. It's good for you.
That just lets you know that they consider you a friend.
If you get a pickleback, it's a rite of passage.
Yeah, indeed.
Man. Yeah. I might pause this for a second. We've kind of already talked about it a little bit, but as to on the volunteer side and the why, but you're a businessman. You make your living between numerous different things. Tell us more about what your real job is during the day. This is only a volunteer position. It costs you money to be the president of the Stampede.
Well, it's labor of love for sure, and becoming president, I sat in my office one day and I said, this is taking all my day, every day. But you know what? It's a limited period of time as well. And I think I'm the 38th president of the Calgary Stampede.
Dang.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's awesome.
Has it always been this way? Is this been the structure since almost the beginning, or did they change it after a while, or how did that?
Well, there's two different corporate structures of the Calgary Stampede.
Yeah.
And we're currently in
the second one?
In the second one, obviously. But
okay.
The first one, I think, went out of business. It's those guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Bad go?
Yeah, that would got off the rails a little bit.
Oh, because was that a for-profit originally? And then it became an NPO later on?
Probably, because Guy Fieri wouldn't have been.
Yeah, he wasn't working for free, hey?
No, he wasn't.
Guy?
There he is.
Yeah.
That cash money.
Yeah. But yes, we are a not-for-profit organization now, and so I'm the president of a not-for-profit, which is fascinating. But every penny goes right back into this community and education, as we talked about earlier, and the youth programs and the bands. You know, our band has been the #1 marching show band in the world for I don't know how many years.
Numerous. I didn't know that's a hot stat.
Times.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's sweet. Calgary Stampede show band shows up and they win.
Winners win. Yeah. Do the job, get paid.
Yeah.
So what's your real job though? Tell us about that day to day. Or do you have one right now? Do you manage your investments in certain private and public companies? Is that what it is?
Jeez, if I told you that, I'd have to kill you, right?
Some ass coin.
You don't have to.
Well, you go back to like the not-for-profit thing, though. It's something we kind of talked off camera.
Wacey saved you.
Where it's like it's something that gets like caught off. Like people don't realize that it's a not-for-profit, and all the money goes back into like your business activities, and it just seems it's easy for people to point fingers and be like, oh yeah, they rake in all this cash and all this, that, and the other. Where it's like that's not the case. Like there's stuff needs to be paid for that happens here, and there's more than just 10 days of Stampede that goes on.
Right, and running a not-for-profit means you don't have a big bank account at the end of the year. So it's hats off to our finance people and who are both volunteers and paid. We have our audit and finance committee is just awesome, but we're we're in better days, and we would count dollars and quarters. Now we're counting pennies and making sure that we save, and we turn off the lights in this room when we're not in here. And we have to be responsible stewards of the brand and the legacy of the Calgary Stampede.
So coming from a business background though, and a law background, right. Why do you care about rodeos and cowboy shit? What's in it for you to care about that stuff?
I like that question.
Well, that is a good question, isn't it? That, yeah. I'm the only guy in the room wearing a cowboy hat.
Yeah, right.
You know,
I got my headphones on,
wearing white Nikes and joggers.
Exactly, but
Wacey's a downtown division, though. It's different.
That's true.
I'm a concrete cowboy.
What a great question! It causes you to think. But I've grown up loving the Stampede, but even before that, as my family background, well, I don't claim to be a cowboy. You know that. I grew up going to family ranches in Pincher Creek area. So my family background, my mom was a ranch kid. She was with the Lynch Stauntons, Buchanans, the Hardys, the Kirbys down in the Pincher Creek area. So they were ranchers from way, way back. In fact, my family's part of the Southern Alberta Pioneers Association. So,
oh, cool.
That's sweet.
So, while I'm a city kid and everything, actually my uncle's coming up for the president's reception here in July, and
cool.
I'm really proud of that because he doesn't like coming to the city at all, and he's the guy that taught me to ride.
Oh,
and
cool!
So he made sure that we all had a pony, and I just heard he's coming up. He RSVP'd, yes,
nice.
And I was not.
And where did you grow up then?
So
was it Pincher? Was it you have ties to Ontario, and then you have another, like, don't you have a place in Pennsylvania too? Isn't that right?
So I grew up all over Alberta. So my dad was
you were a carny, yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of homes.
No, my dad was in the oil business, and he was a pilot. So we lived in, I don't know if you guys know where High Level Alberta is.
Oh yeah. No, sorry, I shouldn't have said does. Yeah, of course I do.
Ted knows his geography, guys.
No, my mom is from Keg River. I think she's there right now, but my grandparents are from Keg River, so I absolutely know High River. Yeah, I was there like
High
last
level.
fall.
High level, Ted.
High level. Sorry,
your geography right. Come on.
So
Rainbow Lake, Lacrete. Hay River, a little far north of that in the territories.
I lived in Peace River for 8 months.
Yeah. I lived in Peace River. I lived in Swift Current, all these places.
Speedy Creek.
Nice. So my dad high level. My dad was a bush pilot.
Yeah.
They called him a flying mud man. So he would fly into oil rigs and do his check.
Probably
check
some
mud.
seismic
check
stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I lived up in that area. So we were all around Alberta.
Wow.
And then came back to Calgary probably in the early 70s. And then really my dad just got involved with the Stampede. He
didn't want to leave.
He took it on. And
really?
And
so this is where he made roots.
Yeah.
That's a cool story.
Yeah. So we were, some of the stories, he was an early volunteer. I can remember the day he got his first volunteer badge. And I'm sporting this year's volunteer badge.
This year, yeah. That's cool.
So I remember that day he was very proud. And I something twigged for me seeing, that pride of belonging and everything. And I used to just hang around with them. I got to know all these, as I said earlier, but one of his, the best jobs that I liked for him was he was the host for all the rodeo queens and princesses who would come in from out of town.
Knows the rodeo queen.
I've spent some time with the Queen Committee.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
So that was quite fun for me. I got to,
and what age were you? Was that when you were fighting bears?
I was I was quite a bit younger. I was probably 14-ish. Yeah.
Not bad age.
Yeah. Suddenly that job stopped for my dad at a certain when I got to be a certain age. But,
geez.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. What do your days look like as the Stampede president now? And as a second question to this, what are some of your goals while you're president? What can you actually change too? Because it doesn't, once you're in a position like this, it's kind of a little bit of steering, but there's not a lot you can really end up getting changed though too at that level either, is there? With this organization, like is it kind of tight, or do you get to move and put your thumbprint on parts of it, or what does that look like?
All good questions, and let me say, becoming the 38th, I believe, president of the Stampede is a huge honor. I mean, I didn't set out to do this, but it here
you
it is.
Want to be part of the board, and you didn't have the goal to be the president. Really, that wasn't your.
No, I don't think you can set out with that goal. I think it just you find yourself there. But all these years later, I became the president January 1st of this year. It's been a crazy 16 months, but the Stampede, with the cancellation and then the loss of Warren Connell, the board had to make some big changes. So he passed away in December. I would have taken over as president in March, but instead this year was January 1st. And my first role was to find a new CEO for the company. And
that was your role as a president. They came to you and, hey, help us find a new CEO.
Yeah, just a little thing like that.
Wow.
But so I was.
It's the responsibility of the board is to appoint their CEO. Business school.
Oh, geez, I didn't go
Look
to
at
business
you.
school.
The number one responsibility is CEO succession.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
And so you took over early because Dana was the CEO, became the interim CEO upon Warren's passing.
Right. So we all just switched chairs, and that's what a company has to do. So, very sad time to take over and very uncertain time. But we jumped in, so I was chairing the CEO search committee, and we worked pretty hard at that. We undertook a international search for a CEO for a company like this. You try to describe what a CEO does here exactly. It was about 5 pages. Anyone who was going to apply would be very brave, and I certainly was taken aback by all the responsibilities of a CEO, but of a not-for-profit that's international reputation and host.
It carries the name itself carries so much value, and people think Calgary and Alberta and Canada it's Calgary Stampede, right?
When I'm international, I don't know if I've told this story on the show yet, but anytime I've been anywhere around the world and wearing my cowboy hat for whatever reason, the first question is always, "Oh, have you been to the Calgary Stampede before?" That it wasn't anything about any other rodeo. If it was Houston or Cheyenne, nobody knows about the other rodeos. The NFR, it's like, "Oh, Calgary." Calgary is the Calgary Stampede. It's the rodeo in the world, in my opinion and in my experience.
Well, that's really neat to hear because those are all great rodeos.
Yeah,
big deals.
They don't know about them though. They know about Calgary.
Well, it's it takes all of us to get this thing down the road. Absolutely, but as the chair, I'll just go back to the CEO search and what my day's like. It has been nothing but looking for the right person to fill this role. So we're happy to just make an announcement. Was it last week?
Yeah, just like the 16th, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So Joel Cowley, who is past president and CEO of Houston.
Rodeo Houston.
He's on his way to Calgary, and so that's pretty exciting for us, and I think the whole rodeo world.
And probably tough to find anybody else that would have any kind of experience in anything close to what this would be. Because just thinking of who else would do this job, it'd have to be like a major sports executive from I don't know, comparatively you would have to say like one of the major sports. Technically it would be something similar, or I don't know what else. A major business, major company, but for somebody to be from Houston and for you guys to be able to convince them to come to Calgary, there's nobody, I don't know anybody else that could have been a better pick. It seems like a really good fit, and I hope it works out great.
I'm happy to hear that. I think it's going to be a great fit as well. And the Stampede has only gone out for a new CEO outside the organization three times.
Really, and there's been a lot of different CEOs too.
A lot of different CEOs.
Probably 20 different
one was
CEOs.
Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
So he was an American, and then we had two others. But otherwise, we've basically grown our CEO from the inside.
And so does Joel have a contract for a certain amount of years, or is it? It would have to be a contract for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. He's on his way here. He's going to be here this week.
Yeah.
And,
that's great.
Yeah, it's super exciting. He's I think he's going to fit right in here.
Oh yeah. Houston and Calgary are kind of similar too on as far as the cities and the the commerce in each town, I think too. But
the neat thing about this guy Joel, one, he's been in Calgary since 1993. He knows the Calgary Stampede.
Oh, what does he come here for? How does he already know it?
He was a judge in livestock.
Really?
Yeah, he's also helped 4-H on parade since the 90s.
That's awesome.
And then he would show up as part of the gang coming in from Houston to take in the Stampede. So he's familiar, knows people, and I think he's looking forward to getting back.
Yeah.
Told him winters might be a little hard, but
Calgary winters aren't that bad in context
comparatively.
Right?
Yeah, comparatively speaking.
Compared to Winnipeg.
I just told him to get a heated steering wheel and some heated seats for his car.
He'll
be fine.
He'll be happy for his GMC. Yeah.
It's for his GMC, absolutely.
His Silverado.
No, that's a Chev. No, come on.
Same.
So Joel, when we talk about his or the skills we're looking for in a CEO for the Stampede, no one is an animal scientist. I mean, that's where you start.
Yeah.
So that bodes well for your question earlier, Wacey, about the urban rural sort of connection. I think he's the right person at the right time.
That's
really,
great.
And I'm super excited. So. I think it was.
It seems to be like a seamless transition, though. Even too, like you say, he knows people. He's been around it. He has that background in the agriculture, Western lifestyle roots.
And the organization with the event and the volunteers. That relationship is
vital. It's vital,
and it's very unique to Calgary and Houston, and I don't know where else. But it's very unique to these two events, so I it sounds like a great fit.
It's going to be a great fit. And so when you ask what my job is like as president of the Stampede, day in, day out, we are starting at a full stop. We had a cancellation. We've got to rebuild everything. It's time for a reset for the Calgary Stampede, and with Joel coming on board, a very keen board of which you know some of them obviously, and our volunteer corps. Like I can't be more excited. And you're right, it's only 2 years, but if with Joel's help, we're going to get this thing rolling again, and I'm really looking forward to the future. And then I will ride off and turn it over to Will Osler and Stuart O'Connor. So so
tell me more about what else your goals are though. Now you've got the CEO in place. what's 2021, the remainder of 2021 and 2022 look like for you? What are some of your goals while you're president? Or will it become working more with Joel and he kind of steers the ship more so? How does that look?
Well, the board's always going to be guiding the CEO, and I have to establish a strong relationship and get him seated proper. That's really what the next year and a half are going to be like for me.
Okay.
Maybe those goals don't sound lofty enough, but it
No,
seems like
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a ton.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do that.
Just show him around. Just give him a feel for it. Pay for some beers.
Here,
National 10.
flip him the keys and go.
Yes.
No, he's got to get off to a good start and get to know the people and get to know what we're up to as a board and kind of advance all those things. So keeping the Calgary Stampede moving forward, keeping it relevant, keeping us best in show is going to be really important. He gets that. So it's just that's the job. Some of the things I do during the day, well, one of the things I've got to do is choose the poster for the.
That'd be a cool process.
It was really
really
great youth poster program, and we got Lexi, who had put forward the picture that you would see of Qatari Rainbow Girl, and that has been such a great process. I got to tell you, I do want to talk about it. Is that one, the image is striking, I think, but two, it's unfolded in a neat sort of way that this is the first time we've had her grandma was calling it the poster girl. She calls her the poster girl. Bringing the poster to life as a parade marshal, and it really felt like the right thing to do. So I was out at Siksika yesterday with Qatari and her family, where they were celebrating. The community was celebrating Qatari's achievement as poster girl and parade marshal. It was just wonderful.
I'm going to kind of get some chills. That's kind of cool.
It was great.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm just referencing that is because those are some of the cool things I get to do as the president.
We'll have to make sure you get one of our buckles from Montana, silver with the poster images on it.
Yeah. So
they just shipped out yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're on the way.
It's all starting to arrive. This came in today. So and tomorrow I'm actually, this is an aside, but I'm taking Qatari to her drive-through grad tomorrow.
Oh, great!
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Nice? Yeah,
that's sweet.
In that GMC. So
right on.
We're gonna have fun.
The Sierra. I'm on it. Well, whatever. Sierra's a GM. I'm trying. I'm trying your
He's trying.
I'm
over
trying
there.
my best over here. I'm not a car guy. I'm not a car guy. You mentioned riding off in the sunset. What does post presidency look like? Are you still going to be involved on a certain
2 years
level?
as the past president, and then what?
And then what's up? What's that look like?
Geez,
Fill us in.
As we talked about a little earlier, when you're sitting on a boat in the middle of July during Stampede, it just doesn't feel right. But that might be it.
Yeah.
I think it's a real struggle for some to leave the presidency. You get treated as a director. You get treated very well by the volunteers, and just supporting the volunteers has been great. And so it's a nice to and fro there. But the presidency, I'm still just getting to know it. Haven't gone through it.
It's only been 6 months.
It's probably been a whirlwind too. The last 6 months.
It's pretty crazy. It's sitting with microphones here. This is not my norm.
You get stuck with two schlubs like us.
This is where I'm most comfortable, with the ranch water.
hey, you gotta get your ranch water.
Shout out.
We always mention like how many committees there are on the Stampede part, and part of it. There's like 40 some. Well, we've been talking about the committee. Loosely mentioned the committees.
About 28 committees.
There's 28 committees. Which committee is your favorite committee?
Well, let me tell you.
Let's hear it. I'm ready to hear.
My favorite child is, as I said, they're all different with all different cultures. Sadly, we don't have the Grandstand Committee anymore.
Oh, I guess not.
No, and committees kind of go through a life cycle, and the reason we were wondering how many exactly is we've had a consolidation and what's relevant, and that doesn't mean the Grandstand Committee's gone forever. It just means that in that format, it wasn't working in the future or for the future. So I don't have a favorite. I respect the culture.
He's a politician. You can't.
Yeah.
Oh shit. No, they're all so different. They're
Wacey's is the rodeo queens.
I have a love hate with the rodeo queen.
love hate.
Love hate. Yeah.
Oh,
There's some
are
history.
you talking about?
There's some history there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
I have talked about it plenty on the show. That's no secret.
Do you want something done about it? No.
I know a guy now. I'm good. I got the.
Are you talking about the alumni or are you talking about royalty?
Depends on the year.
Yeah, it depends on the year. There's a little bit of.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
Well, yeah, we'll go offline. Each committee, and I'm not trying to sound political. I am amazed by the energy put in by the volunteers.
It's amazing. Mm-hmm. Even in like our involvement, like I've been around Stampede since I was a kid and all that kind of stuff. But on this level, on the back end side of things, it's pretty cool to see. Like I've met so many cool people, like thanks to Ted and everything we've done, and it's like kind of like a bunch of different little communities involved with it all.
Okay, we're gonna do a rapid fire to finish off here. Got a few more questions to finish.
Okay, can I go first?
Well, yeah, and then we got a few here.
Okay, but this is another one. Who is the most famous person you've met in your 40 years being involved in the Stampede?
The Three Stooges.
Oh boy,
3 people. The Three Stooges.
Most famous.
And was he nice or was he a jerk?
You know what?
She.
I've had a good fortune to meet some pretty cool people, and they've remained pretty cool people. Like,
nice, that's cool.
In 2019, I met Guy Fieri.
I remember that. That was sweet because I was working the
dang.
wagons that perfect night, and I put on my Instagram. Guy Fieri's awesome.
Huh. Yeah, I've met the members of Supertramp.
Nice,
really.
Yeah, I like just different things. I've met military leaders. I've jumped out of an airplane. There's. Yeah, the thing about Stampede is you never know what's next and what's coming.
Who's coming?
I'll just say I'm in.
Yeah, yeah.
Do anything for the content. That's my approach, especially with this stuff.
Orville Strangquist, if you remember that name.
Oh yeah, Chuck Wagon.
He said to me, "Never holler whoa in a mud hole."
Yeah.
So I just keep going.
That's a good like analogy or whatever for this year's Stampede. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a bit of a mud hole, but. You've kind of persevered and pushed through to make things happen.
You know, that's where we go with Stampede 2021 is it'd be way too easy to say no. Mm-hmm. But let's
find a way.
Let's find a way to yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready to run.
Okay, rapid fire.
Speed round, Wace. What do you got?
Oh, is it me? Okay, Nashville North or Cowboys tent?
Both.
You gotta pick one. Gun to your head.
I have picked one. I pick them both every night.
Start at one. Warm up at one.
So Wacey, the thing with being the president is you have the special pin or you have a special in, and you don't have to wait in line. So you just go right to the VIP.
So then how do I get this? Like that's what I need. I'd had it at one point with Labatt, but now I don't have it. But I need it back.
I can hook you up.
I'm not a line guy. I'm not a line guy.
You're 40 years of volunteering away. So when you're about 64, then you can be.
When you get 40 years of volunteer,
then maybe you can.
But so this is how it works. So I got the fast track in now. You've done the footwork. You can like spread the wealth with the boys.
That's what my nieces and nephews are saying. I got to tell you.
Oh, dude. Okay, next one.
Strangest food you've tried on the Midway.
Oh boy!
Or favorite, like something that you unconventional.
You know, it sounds so boring to say mini donuts, but I
That's
go.
lame.
Come on, I know, right?
No, strangest. What's the strangest?
Strangest?
Yeah,
something strange.
Was it like a chocolate covered cricket or something, or what was?
Yeah,
what
there's
what they have?
the
octopus beak
and all that sort of thing. Octopus, yeah.
Dear.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty. I go for the funnel cakes and
pretty traditional. It's good stuff though. It's like hard to beat. Yeah. Remember the 2019. I moved downtown too the first time during Stampede week, so that's really smart by me. And I was absolutely bagged after the last night. And I was walking home. I was like, you know what? I've never had deep fried Oreos. I want some deep fried Oreos. Good. And it was so good. And there was, I think Death Cab for Cutie was playing the summer stage. And I was like, I like Death Cab for Cutie. I'm gonna stand here, eat my deep fried Oreos, and watch this concert. And I was so stoked for it because I hadn't really had it because I'd worked the rodeo and wagons, and we were like in the midst of working like 18 or 19 days in a row with everything we had going on. So I was absolutely and I've been sleeping on an air mattress. The only thing I had in my new apartment was a frying pan and a knife. Like it was just it was
fried Oreos.
It was a tough time. So whatever. I'm standing there trying to enjoy these, and I just kept getting bumped into by people.
Yeah.
And I think I stayed for like 3 minutes and I left. I was so sick of it.
Deep fried Oreos to go.
So
you
got to get them
You
home.
won't have this problem this year.
My favorite food that I've tried at Stampede, and it's not really strange, is that the ramen corn dog they had in 2019. That was tight. It was so good. I think
we'll look forward to seeing some of those back, right?
I'm stoked. Yeah, I'm so pumped for Stampede. I need it in my life.
I know. I had 15 days from today's taping.
Almost time.
I'm stoked.
Favorite Stampede moment
Favorite Stampede moment?
in the history of your 40 years?
That's going to be a tough one.
Boy.
Yeah. You could also do a top 3 if you wish.
Standing with my dad when I got elected to the board.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool.
It was pretty cool. I got to actually, when I was elected as second vice chair, and then he knew one day I'd be president, he passed away a month later.
No way.
So he got to know that. He got to brag on me for a month.
For a month.
That's awesome.
So that was pretty cool. Like,
Oh, wow.
but falling out of airplanes. 1 year,
A bear after a Rod Stewart concert.
there was another time. Our aviation act had flares on the airplane, and it was the first night of the Stampede, and he was coming over doing a spiral, and one of the flares fell off into the hay bales.
Oh, no.
And so they had all of the hay bales for the whole. It's the last year they did that, by the way. But it caught on fire, and then the stalls caught on fire.
Oh, no.
And the horses were in there.
Oh, no.
So I was the first one over because I was dealing with the airplanes, and I let all the horses out. I just let them go.
Yeah, it's what you do in that scenario.
Yeah,
right?
that's what you do. But
Yeah.
it was really a cool thing.
Oh,
The
shit.
horses knew I was there to help them. I could see it in their eyes. I opened the gates. I don't know where they went. To this day, I don't know where they went. But they were out of the fire, and so that was
Park somewhere.
that was something I do remember.
Holy shit.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Holy
like, it's
shit.
not cool that happened, but it's cool.
No,
cool moment.
it was
Crazy
an
memory.
experience that
That's a wild memory.
I have a couple of those. So you just another ranch water or two. I'll remember a few more.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Okay, anything else? What else?
Man, I'm kind of.
I got
covers
to
everything I
ask
want
about
to.
your time in school in England.
Oh yeah, in Europe.
That's wild. Like, how many other Stampede presidents have been to school there? Even
I don't know.
people involved in Stampede.
Your
that have been
path
over
is
that
like
way.
so unique to where you started, like literally as a carny, then you have to school and
Just keep bringing that back up, eh?
That's cool. It's so cool, man. We've had so many experiences with carnies, like doing rodeo and stuff, and it's just like there's one president of the Stampede.
No, it's hey, everyone's got to start somewhere.
I don't mean it in a bad way. I shouldn't say it like that, but it's again like everybody got to start somewhere, and it's cool like how you kind of navigated that route, and then you end up in school in Europe and everything else you've done along the line. Like it's super cool.
I owe it to the people I met through Stampede and during Stampede and around Stampede, and it's had a great influence on me. So I'm happy about
You
that.
have any like wild stories from Europe or what? Anything cool?
Some of them, my friends would not be happy. We did miss an airplane out of Costa Rica. Where were we? Oh, we were in the Canary Islands. We missed an airplane. That was really
wow.
tough to get out of. But
Oh, geez. They wouldn't come back for another week or day or a couple
no,
days.
it was a bit of a problem. But
Dang.
yeah.
Well, then, so I can a bit more serious question. Dial it in here, ways. What do you think that worldly experience that you had throughout your life has that been a big influence in your approach to the way you, with Stampede, or like kind of in your journey in that sense? Like, how much value do you carry in that side of it?
I think it actually goes the other way. Is that the Stampede has influenced how I carried myself in Europe or when I lived in Ottawa or Nova Scotia or any of those places. I learned a lot here, and I learned that Stampede means something to people. Like, I went to Calgary, Scotland when I was over there and opened the door of this guy who called himself the mayor of Calgary.
Yeah.
There was nothing but Stampede posters and Glencoe towels.
Really?
It was
That's so cool.
ridiculous.
Really?
But
In Calgary, Scotland. And
Calgary.
and Calgary, Alberta is named after
that's
something.
right. Colonel MacLeod.
Yeah, exactly. From Scotland, which is
Yep,
That's
at
what-
the
that's
island
cool.
of Mull. It's a little Calgary is a little beach with basically one house and maybe a castle. So I
cool.
just turn it on you
Yeah.
is that it's had a great influence on me and always will. So.
That's amazing. I love that.
wrap it up.
Is that a
Last
good way
one?
to? Good way to. Okay, this is the hardest
Storybook ending.
the hardest hitting question we ask every single one of our guests. Like, it's tough.
I don't know if we put this on the. I don't know if we put this on the list. We might be throwing a curveball at you right here.
Your
All right.
definition of cowboy shit.
Huh. My definition of cowboy shit. All right. What episode is this?
94.
Number 94. You've had some good answers?
Oh, a couple.
You've had some bad answers?
It's one of those things where it's like we haven't, like it hasn't been like really generic or repetitive. Like everybody's kind of had their own way of describing it, which is super cool, which is why it's obviously something we ask everybody. So
all right. Well, after spending an hour here with you guys, I want to say I feel it's authentic. I feel cowboy shit is pickup trucks that get used as pickups, boots that aren't shiny. I don't know, jeans and T-shirts fit in. I don't know, good friends and ranch water. How's that?
That's as good a definition as any, I'd say.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. Well, thanks for being on the show today, Steve. This was awesome.
It's been so great.
I appreciate the time.
I love this.
Sorry, go ahead, Wes.
It's just nice to get together and have a BS.
Oh, yeah.
We don't get to do
It's
this
been a
so
while.
much anymore. It's kind of
been a
like
while.
kind of inching our way back to where we want to be. So it's
Absolutely.
It's gonna be good. Yeah.
Everyone can get their tickets and passes and everything at
From Steve.
Yeah. Here's his cell phone number. Call him up.
Online. Everything's online.
CalgaryStampede.com.
That's absolutely
Everything
right.
you need to know for Stampede 2021.
Find us in Nashville North, me and Steve, crushing some beers.
All right. Now get the hell out of here.
Okay, thanks. Thanks to Steve McDonough for being on the show this week. Episode 94 of Cowboy Shit with Ted and Wacey, presented by Circle 4 Ranch Water, locally made in Alberta since 2020 or 21. I don't know.
I think 21. I think they're a new product, man.
New in 2021.
But they're going to be around for a long time to come because you know what? These are in the seltzer game. These are heavy hitters.
Check them
I'm
out
not going to lie.
on
I have experience in the seltzer game.
Instagram or Facebook, Circle 4 Ranch Water, or Circle4Beverages.com. Also, ranchwater.ca. Check them out. Get yourself some ranch water. Check them out on the ground. That's where they got all their locations printed. They've got them hooked up on the website as well. Check them out. We got ours at a co-op in Cochrane, the one on the way out of town on the 1A. So
yeah, they're good people over there at Circle 4 Ranch Water.
Yeah,
looking forward to getting together with them soon.
Appreciate it. Cheers, Wace.
Cheers, homie.
94.
Another one. Man, I was just thinking about this. That our last episode, like this last interview we just did, that's got to be one of the coolest venues that we've recorded in. Yeah, the President's Room of the Calgary Stampede.
It's a pretty exclusive club if people get to go there. Not a big deal.
I thought that was pretty cool. Got to sit in the sweet buffalo
audience.
chair.
Yeah, I didn't know you were gonna sit in that thing the whole time. That was it was ballsy play.
People said I wasn't gonna do it, so I did it.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying you wouldn't. Then you
Don't
did.
ever doubt me.
Again, Calgary Stampede, July 9th to the 18th. CalgaryStampede.com for tickets. If you don't have them, go get them. Come check out the new night show. It's going to be quite the time. Again, the barrel racers we talked about on the top half of the show. We got a new format, the qualifier. 5 ladies made their way to the Stampede out of the qualifier. Created some buzz around the show, and back. We'll see. How about one of them wins it? How about that'd be pretty.
Man, there's a potential to be a massive storyline here. So
heck yeah,
stay tuned to that.
Cody Snyder back on the broadcast with Mark Lee, I believe. That's exciting news. We didn't talk to Cody at all about the Calgary thing. It might have worked out well for him. He got his job back there at Calgary.
There's obviously
might have talked about it. Stuff might have happened. You never know.
I'm not going to say we had any influence on it, but I'm not going to say we didn't have any influence on it.
Just saying. Congrats, Cody. He's back. I don't know what else to say. What do you got? You got something?
Man, I got something, man. It's been a long time coming. Yeah. We've been a year without kind of being able to do stuff. Like, what are you looking most forward to coming up with the Stampede here? There's lots of exciting stuff happen.
Seeing people, number one. That's a big one. Seeing some folks I haven't seen in a long time. Having a few Bud Lights by the river and the G65 club with the rodeo crew. Watching the rodeo at the Stampede, man, when the fireworks go off and that national anthem finishes up and the jets fly over, and yeah, fucking right. I'm pumped for some rodeo again at the Stampede. It was one of the, I hated that we missed it last year, and this year it's the first, one of the first live events in the entire country that's kind of leading the charge back for live events. And, a lot of folks are still probably a little hesitant on having events again and being around people. But, we've been at this a long time. The cases are almost at 0. There's less and less people in the hospital with COVID every day. This thing's going away. All the leading indicators are trending downward, and let's get back to it. Let's get back to live events, get some people back in, get some concerts going. Full Canadian lineup on all the concert stages. Hey, you've got between Nashville North and the Summer Stage, Badlands. It's all Canadian. I love it. I'm a big fan of that part. So and a lot of more Canadian talent in the rodeo this year. We should expect the contestant list here very shortly, if it's not already out today on Wednesday. But yeah, man, what are you looking forward to most about Stampede? Man,
it's one of those things too. I think, like you said, seeing people. I've had a couple tastes of that here over the past few weeks. Like I was on a stag this past weekend in Canmore, and we were on the patio at the Rosencrown there, and it was full, and everybody was kind of mingling and talking and talking amongst tables and stuff. And it was just so nice to be around people and kind of have something normal. So I'm looking forward to being down on the grounds again, having a few beers in the contestant tent, seeing some people there.
If we're even allowed there, if that's even a thing. Might be locked down. Might not be able to do that. I don't know.
We know some people who can. We know a guy.
I don't know if we can get by the line, man. We'll see.
Oh, we got a pretty. With the guy we just talked to on the show, has some pull around.
We'll see what we can do. We don't have jobs at the rodeo. We don't have jobs.
We're jobless.
Yeah, we got offered.
Falling off. But yeah, man, I don't know. Being out on the ground, some Nashville North nights for sure. Looking forward to that.
I want to go see Brett Kissel.
Yeah.
This year, that'd be a decent one too.
I think I'm gonna go to Loud Luxury at the Badlands just to check that out. Never really been to a show like that before, so I think that would be a cool experience. Yeah, and I think I'm excited for the city. It's going to be a really cool thing. There's a lot of buzz, like working downtown. You can feel people getting excited to be around each other, and just like the Stampede spirits kind of start showing through. So I'm excited for that part of it. And I'm also excited to have some people over to my place, my new place for us, a little Stampede shindig.
Shindig. Yeah, us too.
Yeah,
once that's allowed again. Agreed,
Thursday,
Wacey.
Baby.
Be able to get your cowboy shit at the grounds at the 7X booth and the trade show. Cowboy shit will be on park at the Stampede grounds.
If you're around, hit us up. We'd love to meet some people.
Autographs if you want.
I don't know about autographs, but I mean, if you want to,
Wacey will sign your boobs if you ask him to.
Meet me in Nashville North.
Show him his picture from Tinder and say, right here, sign him up.
I'm in. I got you. I'll pack a marker around with me all week.
He's in. You probably should, Waste, just in case. I don't know. You might need it.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Man, I don't know what else to say. I guess just looking forward to Clooney this weekend. The PBR again. Clooney Lions Charity PBR. Cooley Creek Farms Friday and Saturday night 6:30 start. What else? Waste?
I'm coming to TP Creek if anybody's up in TP Creek.
Yeah, before our next show comes out, TP Creek. What else? TP Creek is going to be on the weekend, the first weekend of the Stampede, the 10th and 11th of July. Everything Cowboy Audio will be on site with Wacey Anderson spinning the hottest tracks around.
The beats. Hot tracks only, baby. No requests, though.
Our friend Doug Young on the announcer microphone. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, man. After that, we got, what do we got? I don't know. We got some stuff coming up. We'll talk
Club Championship.
Yes, we golf.
Some weddings.
Wedding
all
season.
Different sorts of stuff, all different things. Man, I sat down and looked at my weekends, and I have the only free weekend I have between now and Labor Day is the 21st of August weekend.
Damn. Now I'll be at the Glen Keeley Memorial that weekend, the 21st of August at the Keeley Ranch. We also got an invite to Preston and Lindsay's wedding. I don't know if you know this, but we're invited now. We're not invited first off. Now we're invited. We're going to Newfoundland, going to St. John's.
Dude,
going to Newfoundland.
I am gonna tear a hole so big in St. John's that they're gonna want to elect me the mayor of that town.
Oh dear.
That town better batten everybody. By the time my plane rolls into St. John's, everybody better be wearing fucking fishing gear and ready just for a wave of waste.
Are you gonna wear a yellow bucket fishing hat all week?
I don't know.
A lot of people are saying you won't.
Some crazy stuff might be happening. You don't know.
Man, I think that you're in for a rude awakening on just how hard the fucking people from Newfoundland party. You might.
Man, why are you always doubting me on this shit?
Hey, I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying that
you're legit doubting me. You're legit doubting me.
Okay, I'm doubting you. I think you might be,
fuck you, dude.
I think you might be in for a rude awakening on how hard the people of Newfoundland.
I'm from Saskatchewan, man.
Yeah, I understand. I haven't been there either. I think I'm in for a rude awakening because I went to Halifax when I turned 21 and I puked in the street and I kept going.
I don't puke like that though. I don't do that kind of stuff.
Oh dear, man! I think we're
I think we have to smuggle some ranch waters with us.
Oh yeah, we'll have to. It could be good. Or maybe
what do you think?
Smuggle the first round of ranch waters into Newfoundland. I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. And I looked at the map, and I've never been there before, and I realized that there's a part of France over there too, Saint Pierre and Miquelon, like the island over there.
Nice.
It's like French land, so it's like a different country technically.
That's cool.
I don't know how far away it is, but yeah, it should be cool, man. I'm excited.
It'll be a fun week, man. It'll be a fun week.
I guess we'll wrap it up. I don't have anything else good to add. I don't know what else to say here.
And I think that's remember to get your cowboy shit, cowboyshit.ca. Exactly. Code WACE10 when you want. Hit us up if you're on any of the events coming up. We'd love to say hi to you. Maybe nobody will. That's fine.
And again, get 20% off and free shipping with the code HugeBush at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code HugeBush.
And one more thing.
Don't
forget to get your ranch water.
Drink Circle 4 ranch water. Pick it up.
I heard if you don't drink ranch water, you have scurvy.
All right. This has been episode 94 of Cowboy Shit with Ted and Wacey. I'm Ted. He's Wacey. Thank you to our editor, Sean Morton. Every day, all the time. Stay cool out there, folks. Enjoy the hot weather. Thanks to Storm Defoe. Always hooking us up on the graphics and the social medias. Wacey, the TikTok master. Episode 94. Thanks again for listening, folks. We will see you next time.